My name is Joe. I live in a peaceful little village outside of Albany, New York, and I have a couple questions for you. Who are you and what are you? You're probably right now saying, what is he, crazy? I mean, we all know, I'm a human being. My name is such and such. And that's not what I'm really talking about. What do you really know about your own capabilities? What do you know about your relationship with everything else that exists around you? Because what I'm going to try and do is change that whole conception that you have. Because I'm going to talk about being things that are psychic, clairvoyance, mediums, healing, a whole bunch of things over a series of different videos that you're going to see here. Now, my background is I have a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy. And to tell you the truth, at one particular time, I was completely skeptical about all of this. I had somebody approach me, tell me they were psychic, and I thought they were crazy. And then a few years later, I started reading, and I realized the reason I felt that way was because I had no frame of reference to make these things seem plausible. But I started reading, and I read a couple of things that all of a sudden something clicked. And I really began to understand why these things are possible. And I began to understand that we are all connected one with the other and with the rest of reality in its entirety. So I read on, I studied, and had a couple of things happen that really changed my ideas about things, and decided to get involved in trying to develop these abilities. And what do you know? I found out that you really could. I realized that these abilities were resident in all of us. Every single one of us has these abilities, either to be psychic or a medium or maybe even to be a healer. And it is not anything about being a gift or in some way being given something which is special and different from everybody else. Everybody is like this. So a couple of things happened, and I started to feel that this information had to be shared. And I started an educational nonprofit group and had it for about somewhere around 17 or 18 years. And I've helped to show hundreds of other people that these abilities are resident within them and how they could be developed. Why did I do it? Why am I doing this? Primarily because it's a sense of responsibility. To have something very positive to happen to myself, which, as a matter of fact, was something like a healing, because I had a very bad back problem. I had a ruptured disc in my back, and I was told the only thing I could do was have surgery. And I didn't really like the idea of that, so I went to somebody, I got a healing, and the problem just seemed to go away. And I'm going to talk about this in more detail later on in a different video. But that was one of the things that I said, there may be some truth to this. And I kept on reading, and I went to these classes, and all of a sudden things started to happen. I had experiences that showed me that the truth was very, very evident, that these abilities are real. Now, I got to tell you from the beginning that I don't just automatically believe in things. As I said, I was skeptical. I had to be shown, it had in some way to be proven to me. And I couldn't even begin to list here how many instances occurred to show me that. So now, once I'm a believer, what do I do with it? Where do I go with it? Well, me talking to you is just one example. In starting a nonprofit organization, I've seen so many people who had a conception of themselves which was very limited, that forced them to believe that there was not much they could do about the things that went on around them. And as they became involved and they learned more and more, their whole conception changed. They looked at themselves and the world around them in an entirely different way, and an entirely marvelous way. I was once told that somebody had said that they believed that maybe there were 2 or 3 dozen people on the earth who were walking around that were really awake, and that they were walking around in a state of constant amazement. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you in some of these videos. Something that will benefit yourself and help you grow and understand who you are. But before you can understand who you are, you have to understand what you are. And that's what we're going to deal with first. Once you do that, you will never feel the same way about yourself again. You will never feel the same way about the people around you again. You'll have an entirely different picture of who they are and what their capabilities are, and more importantly, how well you should understand the way you should really, really treat one another and have respect for one another. Because your conception of who you are will be entirely different. You see, we're so focused in this physical reality. We have to go out, we have to earn a living, we have to eat, dress ourselves, support our families. We are so focused in here that what we want to do is we want to go, hey, here I am, this is me, okay? This flesh is not you, all right? You happen to need it to move around in this particular reality, which is perfectly reasonable. But you are not this body. You are simply a spirit or a soul who resides in this body, and they need it to move around in this particular reality. It's the same for all of us. We are all like that. And once you understand that and view yourself as that spirit or that soul, all the things I'm going to talk about are going to seem much more reasonable. The capabilities we're going to talk about will astound you. And you know something? In your lifetime or in my lifetime, I or you may never realize the true potential, and I shouldn't even say may, because we won't. But we can begin to understand, we can begin to work with one another in a different way to truly understand the validity of what the things that I'm going to talk about. Now, there'll be a whole series of videos. They'll deal with various subjects. And one of the things I'm going to try and do, because besides being a philosophy major, I really do love science also. And lo and behold, science is beginning to interweave what they have learned with what I have learned in terms of a philosophy. Science is beginning to come up with things that will say to you, boy, we're beginning to find out things that make the ancient philosophies or the Eastern philosophies look more reasonable and look more accurate in terms of what their conception of reality was. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it over, as I said, a number of videos, and I hope you'll find it interesting. I hope you'll tell others about what I'm trying to do. And soon I'm hoping to have a website up, to have links on the website where you can go and investigate some of these phenomena, whether it be about healing or what science is now doing to prove some of these things correct. And I hope you take advantage of it. We will, over a period of time, discuss many things and hopefully make progress together. And I want to thank you for this initial time that you've given me. And you will hear from me again. In the meantime, I hope everything is going well. And I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.